know where the cheese at. Fresh out the jet, tell the jets where the cheese at. What you know about that? What you know about that? Hey, what you know about that? I know all about that. See me in the city, sitting pretty, no shining dog. Riding with a couple Latin bras and I'm shining dog. Hey, you know how we ball. Right in the shiny ball. Walk in the designer mall. Back in the name song. You know about me, dog. Don't talk about me, dog. And if you got me, dog, you better out me, dog. Don't throw no striking, bro. Don't want to fight me, bro. Don't pass the lightning, bro. You better get your nothing, bro. You know you don't like me, cuz. Your grandma like me, cuz. She see me on the judge. You come from every club. Happy on the mama. Every don't show me mugs. Don't you know I got shit? I don't need when I church, I'm in church, man. Moving down sad, where I hold it all over again. What you know about that? What you know about that? What you know about that? I know all about that. On the door where the cheese at. Fresh out the jet, tell the jets where the cheese at. What you know about that? What you know about that? Hey, what you know about that? I know all about that. Candy on the 6-fold, nothing good as a fishbowl. Big on the pinky ring just to make the fist blow. I had to get low, cause I get dough. So what, I'm rich, I still full of big dough. What you talking shit for? I gotta run and get folk. Got you were yelling, I thought you put out a hit phone. But you's a scary dude, really by very few. Just keep it very cool, we will marry you. See all that attitude, is unnecessary, dude. But you never carry, he's not even swearing cute. You got these people fooled, who see you on the tube, whatever try to prove. Don't you know I got shit? I don't need that church, I'm in church, man. Really down sad, where I hold it all over again. What you know about that? What you know about that? What you know about that? I know all about that. On the low where the cheese at. Fresh out the jet, tell the jets where the cheese at. What you know about that? What you know about that? Hey, what you know about that? I know all about that. Head to the block, burn her up over the top. Pop the bus, tell them stop and make the block guy. Your label guy, cause you are not high. I got the top spot, and it will not stop. Video and that we bust it to the stop. Girl, got that Billy Cooper, take it to the chop shop. Although we not, y'all, if it make pop off, my last little pushing will I get your block, y'all. If it will be your bro, look out with me, your bro. I mean, no, if you a Jackson, what you need for somebody better get, bro, before he gets set for. Say you wanna squash it, what you scared? Cause you know I got shit. I don't need with that church, I'm in church, man. Really down sad, where I hold it all over again. What you know about that? What you know about that? What you know about that? I know all about that. On the low where the cheese at. Fresh out the jet, tell the jets where the cheese at. What you know about that? What you know about that? Hey, what you know about that? I know all about that.
Another one. DJ Khaled. Spent $1 million on my chicken this 3 years ago. At 2 zeros to the 1, I'm in a different mode. It's my life, do what I wanna be with different. You know the pick and roll, I pick and represent the home. I got rich, I strong, get them in and get them gone. You know Chevy just got out, I ain't have to put them on. We the ones who got the nuts to put the city on. It's the middle of the summer, I got a hoodie on. My demons turning night nights. I try not to win 90 times. I came up off the showing dice. Yeah. My little brother ain't doing right. My sister them doing alright. My cousin them still serving life. Yeah. Seen the robber rob the deed. I seen the preacher get
It's gonna be bumping, man.
I love it, bro.
It's gonna be bumping.
One person come tell me you block. Watch me run it to the tip of the top. Yeah, keep going. Call my kids and she want she must ain't one plus one is three. I can't support you personally. She don't got no more than you with a baby. Be capping them cars, release. Like it's in charge. I'm all they want to be. Strong woman, we used to have one for dinner. We didn't have nothing to eat. As soon as I kill this, they gon' look on me down like that. You see me? I'm sure every chance that I get. I wanna be this watch they got. I don't care. They keep everybody rich. All these I wish I would clean up. They get hard when they get good. We gotta look for
Oh, yeah.
so when they say we can't come, you know we're running. Man, miss me with that bitch. You know I live in the bitch. Money, cars, and clothes. You know I live in the bitch. Money, cars, and clothes.
I'm on the trenches. Be talking like that, but really be there for attention. Just be talking like they really rich, but really be begging me under my bitch. I give them 40, 50,000 cash to start up a business. I spend that at the business. I'd rather fuck in a pair for running for a year just to get out of her feelings. I'm in a Lambo truck on my hood, nobody gon' tell me. Going to Cali, I pick my way for sure, nobody gon' real me. Dice game, cross a zero, I need cash, no sell.
All right.
Baby, got this good, I'm smashing.
Still jumping a little bit, but it's okay. It's not gonna be like that during the game.
I took her to the O, then I put up on the lamp, cause she a fan of Booney Mo. I got the city on lock, know all the ops. I'll be around with $3 million in jury, I'm standing on all the blocks. This an anthem, dropping the 6 in the phantom, Black Road trouble, I always see free man, I'm sitting on pen. I love my cousin, she was a dancer. I love my brother, he was a scammer. Sit on my lap, cause I'm pulling her tracks, and I flip on the back, and she calling me ass.
So good. So good. I'm gonna stay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Major League Baseball's Youth Academy here in Compton, California, for another CCL matchup between the Arroyo Seco Saints and your Academy Barons. At this time, we'd like to invite you in joining us for the playing of our national anthem.
Everything litty, y'all love when it's hot. Sweat to the city, y'all broke out the night. Got some more millions, I keep me a nap. I created history, it ain't me a lot. We just a mystery, and it gon' fall. We call them choppy, cause they go to chop. Took her out of college, cause I'm running like Nike, we got it on lock. And the boss man in a suit with no tie. I can't be sober, I gotta stay high. Give me some people that carry the drum. Riding in special like Bernie and Clyde.
Can you get a spot?
Baby, I keep you so fine.
I can do my laptop here. Yeah.
Your defensive alignment today for the Mariners. Starting in left field, Jordan Williams.
Well, don't know where Nick is at.
Number 2, Julian Boyd. And in right field, number 17, Chase Call. At third base, number 16, Alex Gonzalez. Starting at shortstop, number 5, Kevin Brown. Second baseman, number 13, Kamaya Neighbors. And at first base, number 14, Jerry McDowell. Behind the plate today, number 7, Christian Webb on the mound. Number 35.
It's Arroyo Seco Saints baseball here on the Saints Radio Network as your Saints are on the road and will complete the 2-game sweep against the Academy Barons. Good evening, everybody. This is Alex Naveca. Alongside of me is Charlie Duncan as the Saints will also be looking for their 10th straight conference victory as they continue to play red-hot baseball and try to get the business done here. And also, this will be the start of a road trip as well for the Saints as this will be the beginning of it. And after today, they'll go to Game 2 of the road trip and go to the Conejo Oaks, then the Santa Barbara Foresters, which is a team that is one game behind of the Saints in the standings. Let's bring in the starting lineups for the Saints as Connor Bradshaw leading things off. Brandon Boning hitting second. Drew Cowley hitting in the 3 spot. Peyton Lewis back in the order and hitting cleanup. Bo Willis hitting 5th. Josh Cowden hitting in the 6th spot. A new face in Tommy Castillo hitting 7th. And another new face in Jake Cruz hitting 8th. And batting 9th is Jake McMurray. As we bring you the starting defense for the Barons. Jordan Williams playing in left, Julian Boyd in dead center. Chase Call over in right after getting a start behind the dish last night. Alec Gonzalez playing at third. Kemet Brown at short. Kamaya Neighbors, a new 1-2 punch to turn the double play in the middle of the infield for the Barons. Darren McDowell playing over at first. Christian Webb is behind the plate. And on the mound is former Bird Nick Martinez, the southpaw, as he will face off against Connor Bradshaw. First pitch in there for a called strike. And first pitch coming in at 6:01 p.m. here in the city of Compton, California, in the Urban Youth Academy. As the 0-1 pitch is a fastball, ground ball right up the middle. This is a backhanded play by the second baseman, and a Bradshaw able to leg out a single.
I'd like to go into Nicholas Martinez for a quick second. Inside the numbers, 9 2/3 innings pitched so far, 1-0 this season, 8 strikeouts. But the story here, has not given up a run all summer long, also has not walked anyone all summer long. A very impressive feat for Nicholas Martinez, and it's going to be a tough task for these Saints hitters to start getting something piled together, but a nice job by Connor Bradshaw leading things off here.
Nick Martinez has a fastball curve. He'll throw his slider as his put-away pitch and a changeup is, well, he'll really turn to at times. Really has filthy stuff there on the mound. Definitely going to bring in his A game as far as strikeouts are concerned, coming in with 8. Facing off against Brandon Boning, behind in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. As Nicholas Martinez, 6'1" frame, weighing in at 200 pounds from Whittier, California. And at the moment, he is undecided, has played his 2 years with Cerritos College, and now trying to look for a place that he could call home for his junior and his senior year of eligibility. As count all knotted up at 1 here in the top of the first. For those of you just joining us, as Boning strikes one over to dead left field. That drops in there, makes its way all the way to the wall. Connor Bradshaw gets on his horse, and he's rounding third. Last minute emergency breaks there for Bradshaw. And just like that, it's a stand-up double for Brandon Boning.
Brandon Boning, give him that double right there. He's been hot with the extra base hits lately. He's been hitting them deep into left field. We saw him do that against San Luis Obispo on Sunday, and he starts off his game with a rope into left here, and exactly what the Saints were looking for. 2 hits from their 2 leadoff hitters, and they're rolling here, and we know that they can get up ahead early. And for the Barons, and especially for Nicholas Martinez having not allowed a run, this becomes trouble with Drew Cowley at the plate.
So still no gone here in the top of the first inning, as Drew Cowley steps up to the plate. Martinez steps off of the rubber, asks for some time as Cowley against the Academy Barons. He is 2 for 10, hitting .200. Just maintaining at the Mendoza line with that .200 batting average. Does have an RBI double, a run scored with 3 Ks, followed by another RBI double and another K. As he skies one over to left, definitely going to be playable. Bradshaw tagging at third. He gets on to the races and trots in to score and gives the Saints the 1-0 lead.
And how about that, striking early like we're used to seeing from this Arroyo Seco team. They got up to an early start yesterday and didn't look back, looking to do the same thing here tonight. And I'd like to point out for the Barons, Chase Call playing right today. He played catcher yesterday, a very Peyton Lewis-esque player, can play outfield, first base, and catcher. And speak of the devil, Peyton Lewis up to the bat.
Peyton Lewis had the day off yesterday, and consider it a Peyton Lewis of the version for the Barons, as he hits a grounder, but it looks like it was catcher's interference on that one.
Saints catching breaks early, and you know that they can capitalize on them all game long, and especially if they're getting off to this start. You better look out that this game doesn't get out of control. They allowed 12 runs in 1 inning last time they were here at MLB Academy, put up a clinic, almost went through the lineup 3 times in that game, in that inning. So for the Barons, looking to do some damage control with Martinez already allowing now the first run of the season.
Saints were able to go off offensively, 18 runs on the board. And coming into this game, the Saints are 3-1 against the Barons, holding their own above 500 after losing the first meet between these two programs. It was a game that would go in favor of the Barons. It was the starter, Merrick Sears, that would get the start for the Saints. The Barons were able to get the sticks going midway and late in the game. Were able to get some late insurance runs to ensure them the win during the game, as there's a pickoff attempt over to second. Wild toss there by Martinez. 6-2 would be the final in favor of the Barons. They would score 1 in the first, 1 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, and another pair of runs in the eighth, which would be the dagger for the Saints. Any chance of being able to come back into that game, it was down the drain for the Saints. 0-1. Nice curveball there by Martinez. Couldn't get the call in his favor. 1-1 the count now to Bo Willis.
Since that game, the Saints have really rolled against this team. 4 games played. The Barons tried to even it up in that 4th game last night, but the Saints were victorious. We were both on the call. We saw it. A great win out of them, 8-4, and they'll be looking for the same result here.
And that's a laser beam over to third, mishandled by the third baseman. No play at any of the bags. It was a hot potato hit to Alec Gonzalez. Couldn't do a whole lot with it.
And how about this start for the Saints? Still just 1 out here. Drew Cowley adding to his RBI total. He's now tied for second with Peyton Lewis at 21 on this Saints ball club.
So here's Josh Cowden now. Still only 1 gone for those of you just joining us. And it came on a fly out by Drew Cowley. It was on a sac fly as there's a grounder over to second. The toss goes to short to first. And it's a twin killing to finish up the inning. As 1 run, 3 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 3 runners left on base as we go to the bottom of the first inning as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. The Saints waste no time to get the first run on the board, leading it 1-0. As we bring you the starting lineups for the Academy Barons. Kamayu Neighbors leading things off. Jordan Williams hitting second. Alec Gonzalez back to the 3 spot. Darian McDowell hitting cleanup. Christian Webb batting 5th. Basil Williams hitting 6th. Julian Boyd hitting 7th. Chase Caw playing at right and hitting 8th. And Kemet Brown hitting 9th. As we bring you the starting defense for the Arroyo Seco Saints, Tommy Castillo playing over in left, Connor Bradshaw at center, Josh Cowden at right, Drew Cowley at third, Brandon Boning over at short, Jake McMurray getting an opportunity to play at second, Jake Cruz over at first, Bo Willis behind the plate, and on the mound and getting his first start as a Saint is Dominic Dorado, who comes in with a record of 3-1, 16 innings of work, 12 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned with 11 Ks, 6 walks, and an ERA of 1.13. And as far as the pitching repertoire that Dorado has to offer, he's got the fastball, curve, and a change. We should be expecting him to turn to his 2-seam fastball to be able to get him that first pitch called strikes, and that fastball should also get him out of troubles when it comes down to having a 2-strike call. As Kamayu Neighbors now stepping up to the plate.
Alex, I talked about Nicholas Martinez, but if we look at Dominic Dorado, 16 innings pitched, as you mentioned, only 6 walks. So the man is very precise with his pitches, doesn't let a lot of batters get a free pass, and that's exactly what the Saints are looking for here tonight.
Dominic Dorado, usually a reliever with Binghamton University, and definitely was very hyped, very excited to take the mound when speaking with him before going to the ball game today. And it's all about that energy that you bring onto the mound, as Dom Dorado, 6'1", frame on the bump, the sophomore, weighing in at 200 pounds from Vestal, New York. Currently falling behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Here's an opportunity for Dorado to show off his stuff, especially with players that have been coming and going for the Saints. Dorado getting an opportunity to get a start and show that he can potentially be a starter here for the Saints. Saints players were able to get an additional 2 players, as we mentioned before, Tommy Castillo and Jay Cruz. We'll get an opportunity to see them in the top of the second inning as the 2-1, and here's a shot over to dead center field for a hit.
And that's the start the Barons were looking for. They've been answering back on the Saints all season long, always play them tough, and it seemed last night every time the Saints got a lead, the Barons would answer right back and tie things up. Fortunately, 8 runs, too much to handle for them last night. They're hoping to keep this game a little bit lower so that way they have a chance here to avoid losing their 7th straight game.
Jordan Williams stepping up to the plate. Last night definitely was a fun and a very exciting game to take in. Williams pulling back on the bunt, 1 ball and no strikes. This is just one of those games that the lead would go to the Saints, but then you see the Barons in the very next half inning just come right back into it, tie it up. You get a brand new ball game. How many brand new ball games did we see last night, Charlie?
I would say at least 3, Alex. I think we had a 1-1, a 2-2, and a 4-4 last night.
We saw at least 3 brand new ball games last night as Neighbors takes the additional bag. Already a runner in scoring position here for the Barons with nobody gone. And Willis already doing the right thing and trying to talk Dorado through this start. Trying to make sure that they're both on the same page here in this ball game. Doesn't want to allow any first runs here in the ball game. So the first run going in favor of the Saints. They attacked very quickly, able to get Connor Bradshaw on a base hit up the middle. Brandon Boning was able to answer back with a double to bring runners in scoring position. The sac fly by Drew Cowley would bring in Bradshaw. Then a catcher's interference call to bring 2 runners on. The single by Bo Willis. Then the 4-6-3 double play hit by Josh Cowden, which would end the threat for the Saints.
And, of course, it was Connor Bradshaw scoring. Who else would it be? It seems that every time we see the Saints put a run across, it's Connor Bradshaw coming in to score. 28 runs, leads the team this season.
3-0 pitch is in there for a called strike. And you talk about what a good leadoff hitter Connor Bradshaw is, getting it done by getting on base very efficiently, very effectively, but also been coming in with some pop as well off of the stick.
He sure has 4 triples, 4 homers. Both lead the team.
Dorado getting right back up to the count to fill it up.
Seems any stat really that you can think of outside of doubles going to Drew Cowley. Connor Bradshaw leading in every other statistic, respectfully. Triples, homers, batting average, runs, RBIs, and strikeouts, surprisingly.
With great pop comes big responsibilities as the 3-2 pitch is a curveball, does not completely break into the zone, and Jordan Williams wins the fight.
Now batting the third baseman, number 16, Alex Gonzalez.
So up to the plate now is Alec Gonzalez. Really has proven himself to be a 3-hitter inside of the lineup, especially with what he was able to do last night. Was able to get on 3 of the 5 plate appearances from last night's ball game. Dorado with a long pause. Fires and a line drive right down the line. That stays fair. Here comes Neighbors rounding third to come in to score. And trying to come in for extra bases and for a run is Jordan Williams. Good heads-up base running there to make it into a 2-1 Barons lead.
Did you see him cooking around that base path? He almost caught up to Neighbors. He's that fast. No surprise. Jordan Williams leading the team in stolen bases at 9. And he came around third like he knew he was going to score. With the amount of speed that this team possesses, it's hard to keep allowing hits and free passes like Dorado has done here in the first inning.
That was a pitch that got too much of the strike zone and the outer half of the plate. That's just great directional hitting by Alec Gonzalez as Darian McDowell now stepping up to the plate. Still no outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Already with a 2-1 lead for the Barons as Dorado pulling the string there. McDowell last night going 0 for 4. Actually 3 groundouts to third or to second with a walk and a K. That time trying to go with the changeup once again. See if McDowell would go after it. 1-1 the count. McDowell, one of the 5 Barons hitters that is hitting above 300. The Barons, got quite a few weapons in the lineup. Can't sleep on Gonzalez, McDowell, Belton, one of the players as well. Jordan Williams, a great run producer for the Barons as well. Already does have one of the runs on the board. Two and one now to Darian McDowell. 79 degrees here in Compton, California in the Urban Youth Academy, where they hosted the 2021 Showcase game. That game was televised by Bally Sports West. Call being done by Trent Rush and Wes Clements. They had a big visitor in the Showcase game. Spoke with Mike Sosha, the commissioner here for the CCL. Spoke highly on how he's managing Team USA as McDowell swings and misses through the 2-2, and there's the first strikeout victim for Dorado.
And that's a huge out for Dorado right there. Allowed a couple of runs, was starting to get beat up out there in the first, and started to settle down now, and we're seeing a different Dominic Dorado hopefully coming out through the rest of this inning.
Here is Christian Webb, a 256 average on 39 at-bats.
The least amount of strikeouts on this team with 5. Christian Webb does not go down easy.
Definitely a good contact hitter. Going to be a guy that can put the ball in play. As Bo Willis going to go out to the mound.
Just 1 RBI on the season for Christian Webb. He has an opportunity to drive a run in and increase this Barons lead here in the first inning. We got a lot of action, already 5 hits between these two teams.
It's already been a very fun first inning, a total of 3 runs and 5 hits. Gotta love offensive innings. First pitch to Webb, last minute show there on the bunt. And Cowley showing that one with no problem, able to toss across the chest.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 23, Basil.
So the late show there by Christian Webb was one trying to advance the runner to third, check that off of the to-do list, and was also trying to get himself on. Wasn't able to get that one done, but the most important thing was able to advance the lead runner over to third for Basil Williams. And they'll start him off first offering for a called strike.
What a curveball there by Dominic Dorado. Breaks from the outside, comes back inside. A nice left to right action. Really tough for a hitter to keep track of that one.
And another pitch that's hard to keep track of is that fastball. Dorado changing the eye level there for Basil Williams. Already quickly the count, no balls and 2 strikes. First 2 runs scored by Kamayu Neighbors and Jordan Williams on the 2 RBI double by Alec Gonzalez, as here's a ground ball right up the middle. More insurance runs here for Martinez as they make it 3-1 Barons.
On my mama, on my hood, I look fly, yeah, I look good.
Now batting,
Really not the start we were expecting here at MLB Youth Academy. We talked about Dominic Dorado, just a 1.12 ERA through 16 innings, and Nicholas Martinez, a clean slate up until this point. And here we already have 4 runs in this ball game.
So both starters running into a bit of a jam. No balls, 1 strike to Julian Boyd. Barons looking to go through the order at once here to start up the ball game. Already a 3 spot on the board. 0-1, fouled back towards us.
And the last time these two teams met at MLB Youth Academy, the Saints had the lead just like they did here, and then Saxon Andros giving up 6 runs in the bottom of the second, put them in a big gap, but they were able to claw all the way back and really blow them out in the end.
There goes the runner. It's a slow roller hit to Cowley and able to get another out there. So 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. 3-1 Barons as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network.
Leading off,
3-1 in favor of the Barons, as we'll have some new faces due up in the top of the second inning. Tommy Castillo, Jay Cruz, and Jake McMurray. Bottom half of the lineup will be due up as here comes Tommy Castillo. What can we say about him? Well, the outfielder is from Long Beach State with the 5'9" frame in the batter's box, and his first pitch that he sees as a Saint, he goes after it. No balls and 1 strike.
We only have 1 hitter batting 1,000 on this Saints ball club. That's Fino Amador. Castillo trying to match that feat.
Castillo just finished up his freshman year, did not play in the 2021 campaign. He is from West Covina, California. As he bloops one over to foul territory, very close to the Saints bullpen. The outfielder originally from Whittier High School, the 4-year letter winner. Also played 1 season of football. I'm sure him and Jackson Cobb can go on for days as far as football is concerned. Jackson Cobb also a 2-athlete player. Had some wide receiver and a defensive back to add to Jackson Cobb's arsenal. Unfortunately, his ACL injury that he was sustained as Castillo shoots one over to left. And just like that, Charlie just called it, and he's hitting 1,000.
You love to see that, Tommy Castillo. That'll boost up your confidence and really the kind of start that he needed, as the Saints are just 2 weeks away from the CCL state playoffs.
Jake Cruz.
So now here's a man with some serious length there in the batter's box. 6'3" frame in Jake Cruz. He's coming from San Diego State, a very good baseball school. Consider them always in the top 3 in the Mountain West Conference, and his first tack gets jammed and fouls it off.
Brought up Jackson Cobb, Alex. I wanted to mention that we have a very nice written article on Jackson Cobb. Some lifetime stuff and everything that he's been going through, written by our intern Joe. A beautiful piece of work. We encourage you to go check that out and be a part of all things Arroyo Seco Saints.
Nice spot there by Martinez, the southpaw, able to get it in there, 0-2. And all the work that our interns put in, all of it has been nice work. And we appreciate all of the support that you guys have been putting in our broadcasts and our social media handles, appreciating the photography, the videography. As there goes Castillo showing off the wheels already, letting the rabbit loose there to steal his first bag.
First hit, first steal, first run, question mark? Let's see if we can get it here.
Already showing the dirtbag way how to play baseball. Well, they're called dirtbags for a reason, and he already demonstrated. Dirtbag's all about getting dirty, laying out head first always, no matter what, always showing the hustle, and showing it there. As Cruz gets under one, but it is in a playing territory still for Ali Gonzalez. So Cruz unable to get on the way he had in mind. But with one gun, here is Jake McMurray.
Now batting second baseman number 2, Jake McMurray.
Really not the start that Cruz was looking for here. Tommy Castillo beating him to the punch on the first hit. And for Cruz, just needing to keep his spirits high in this ball game and continue to do what he knows and keep his overall skill level at where it's at.
So Jake McMurray getting an opportunity to start over at second. Give him a different angle from the infield. See how he does today. We haven't seen any ground balls hit his way, but it'll definitely be something Charlie and I will watch out for throughout the broadcast, as McMurray hitting a solid 300 against the Barons, 6 for 20. Does have quite a few RBIs against the Barons. Looking for one here, as there's a fastball properly located for a strike.
Murray 300 against the Barons, 303 overall this season with 11 runs, 11 RBIs, sitting right in the middle of the pack here on this Saints ball club.
To answer you guys' questions as far as the RBIs are concerned, Castillo getting a huge lead over at second and gets picked off.
Castillo slipped up. It looked like he was going to go steal third. Thought that Martinez was going to go through with the pitch, but gets caught slipping there. And an easy pickoff move by Nicholas Martinez.
It's a huge mental mistake there by Castillo. Going to have to rethink his strategy inside of the dugouts. Now he's got a clean base path. He could focus on McMurray. One ball, one strike with 2 gone. And that one is laced straight to the glove with a shortstop. Easy play there by Kemet Brown, as it's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no runners. Left on base, 3-1 in favor of the Barons. As you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. Tommy Castillo getting picked off over at second and putting a shortstop over to the threat for the Saints. As we'll have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up here for the Barons. Chase Call, Kemet Brown, and back to the top of the order with Kamayu and Neighbors. As Chase Call will step up to the plate. Finished up last night with a pair of singles and a run scored. Finished up the night with the single as he hits a dribbler straight to the glove of the third baseman, Cowley, and throws low to make the out.
And Call, he needed that night last night. One of the lowest batting averages on this club at 154. And how about Cowley? That looked like a little practice before the game when they hit around all the infielders, and he made that one look easy.
Never really see Drew Cowley make any errors there in the defensive end. Really, I think the only error that we've seen him make was in the showcase game here in the Urban Youth Academy. It was a ball that he had to backhand and made a strong throw over that first. Fortunately, the first baseman wasn't able to reach over to make the grab. It was a throw that was a little bit wide. Nothing too crazy. 2 balls, no strikes to Kemet Brown, the 9 hitter. Brown hanging out below the Mendoza line, 171 on 41 at-bats. Earning the start here today. Yesterday's shortstop was Alex Rodriguez. Barron's giving him the day off after 4 Ks. Finished up his day with the golden sombrero there.
With a little cherry on top in the 4th one.
It was definitely a very filthy strikeout to Alex Rodriguez. Not the way that you want to finish up your evening. You either have the hat trick with 3 or you have the golden sombrero with 4.
Very interesting. He leads the team with doubles and is a good hitter, just didn't have it last night.
Ground ball, a diving attempt there by McMurray, trying to collect himself, but not in time.
Valiant effort. McMurray, as we said, taking over for Cobb today at second. And a really valiant effort, keeping the ball in front of him, didn't allow it to get into the outfield, and still gave himself a chance to make the play over at first.
It's base hit number 8 of the year for Kemet Brown. And it's all about where you spot these ground balls. And you know what? We talked about it in the last half inning there, Charlie. We were going to keep an eye out on how McMurray was going to do on the first ground ball hit his way. And I got to say, gotta love the effort laying out like that.
I'm impressed. Not a lot of diving attempts from McMurray at first. He had one insane catch here over the shoulder down the first baseline the last time these two teams met here at MLB Academy. So we know he has some athleticism, as many of these Saints players do, and he showed it off there.
If you ask me, he might be an outfielder at heart as well. Nice throw down over there by Willis, checking up on Kemet Brown. And the reason why I say that was because of the play he came up with on Friday. On Friday when the Saints were at San Luis Obispo, it was a pop-up in foul territory that came very close to the wall next to the Blues dugout. McMurray had to go a long way at first and had to make an over-the-head grab. Almost looked like it was going to be out of play, going to end up in the Blues bullpen. Ended up coming up with it. You almost asked the question, how did he make that play? But just made it look so easy. And, of course, that's when you start to think, hey, could he be an outfielder as well? Certainly has the size for it. 6'1" over at first.
The outfield that this Saints team possess, it's always good to have a backup, but no need for McMurray out there just yet.
There's the 1-2, and here's a little nubber going over to short. Boning couldn't handle the baseball. His only play is over at first.
Tried to turn 2. It's very hard to do against this Barons team. A lot of speed, and unfortunately, when you bobble it a little bit there, like Boning did, smart play, just getting the out at 1 and taking what you can get.
So Jordan Williams due up here with 2 gone in the bottom of the second. Kemet Brown able to advance over to second. So we saw McMurray trying to field a ground ball over there at second. Wasn't a routine ground ball. Then almost saw an opportunity for him to turn a double play. That's the next thing on the checklist to see what else McMurray can do. As first pitch, this is going to be a blooper over to right field. That's dropping in there in front of Josh Cowden. And running on the first contact with Brown, make it a 4-1 Barons lead.
Nice Texas leaguer there, and a great start by Jordan Williams. He's back on base again. He's reached both times up, and we know he has the wheels on the base paths, and we could see a little bit of a 2-out rally going with the 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up here in the second.
So now there's some problems here as Williams, as that's a throw offline. That baseball goes over to center. Now another toss. It's going to go to third. And Williams, he's shaking his hand, trying to check up on it.
Make that stolen base number 10 and 11 for Jordan Williams. He's racking them up here, and he's now in double digits in the summer.
Was able to advance to third on the throwing error there by Bo Willis. So just like that, run number 5 already at third. As Alec Gonzalez trailing the count, no balls and 1 strike. And you see Dorado going with the curve that time. Now way ahead of the count with 2 strikes. Alec Gonzalez already with 2 RBI with the double that he hit the first time up. As the 0-2 tried to locate it low and in.
I like that miss there by Dominic Dorado. You don't want to give him anything too good on the 0-2. You've already given up 4 runs in this ball game. You don't want to allow a 5th.
1-2. Trying to go with 1 low.
And again, a good miss there by Dorado, keeping it tempting for the batter Gonzalez, but this is the best hitter on this Barons club. It's going to be a tough out.
Dorado kicks and fires, and here's a blooper over into foul territory. Cruz makes it easy and will make the catch. So 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base, as the Barons lead it with a trio of runs, 4-1, as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. The Barons collect another run. Give some insurance runs to former Cerritos College Falcon, Nick Martinez, as we have the 1, 2, and 3 hitters coming up for the Saints. Alex Naveca alongside of me, Charlie Duncan, as we bring you midweek action of the CCL baseball with the Arroyo Seco Saints at the Academy Barons. As Connor Bradshaw stepping up to the plate, softly hit one right up the middle. Neighbors tried to throw him out over at first, couldn't get him in time, especially a guy like Connor Bradshaw possesses some serious wheels on the base path, able to beat out throws. He is going into this ball game hitting .402. Was one of the 2 Saints that were hitting above 400. Drew Cowley was that other hitter that was hitting above 400. That was before going into yesterday's ball game, but Cowley only going 1 for 5 yesterday. Brought his average down to 389. And here's a bouncer. Diving play by the first baseman, McDowell. The play still intact, and Bradshaw beats it out.
That's the hustle by Bradshaw. A couple of infield singles for him tonight, showing off the wheels and being the leadoff man that the Saints need.
And that's base hit number 37 now. That's a stat that is up to date, and he's now tied up with Drew Cowley. Gotta love this back and forth duo with Cowley and Bradshaw, both leading the pack with 37 base hits now on the year. As they get their leadoff man, now it's Brandon Boning.
Haven't seen Bradshaw with a really lengthy base hit lately. The last time he had one was against the Riptide a couple of weeks ago. He leads the team in triples and home runs, but he's getting it done off of some solid contact as of late.
As Boney gets under this one into foul territory. And that's going to be mishandled by Webb. Could be missing out on a huge opportunity. Got to record outs when presented to you, especially against the Saints. We saw a couple of mental errors by the Barons last night, and the Saints certainly made them pay, especially with the 2-out rallies that they put up last night.
And what a difference a day can make, Alex. We saw yesterday the Saints and the Barons both had the same amount of hits, but the Saints a 4-run victor last night. And here both teams with 5 hits, but the Barons leading by 3. This goes to show you baseball can change in a matter of minutes.
You certainly can come up with some serious runs one night, then the very next night you can be struggling to score some runs. 1-1, breaking ball, and that one's smashed by Boning, but goes foul. So Nicholas Martinez, last time he was with Cerritos College, made 6 appearances, 2 of them were starts. Had a winning record of 2-1 with 17 innings of work, had a 5.82 ERA with 6 Ks. As Boning hits a weekly hit pop-up over to second and leave it up to neighbors to come up with the grab.
Not the kind of contagious hitting we're used to seeing from the Saints in this ball game. Still trying to get things going. We know they can jump ahead early, but they are just as capable of putting a lead and putting some run support up late. So it could be interesting to see how this ball game plays out.
So one gone, the heart of the lineup for the Saints coming right up. As Martinez takes a toss over at Connor Bradshaw. Bradshaw coming into this game with 4 stolen bases. Haven't really seen too many stolen bags lately by Bradshaw. And that one is laced over to right field, and that drops in there for a hit. There goes Bradshaw taking an additional bag, and Cowley able to advance to second.
Make that double number 16 out of Drew Cowley. This man is a machine.
Now batting, designated hitter,
Already
Peyton Lewis.
2 singles here in the inning. And now Peyton Lewis now stepping up to the plate. Webb is going to have to go out there and have a word with Martinez. As far as Martinez is concerned, played at Lucerna High School, voted first team All Del Rio League as a utility player, and was his team's pitcher of the year. It was also a nice little two-way piece for Lucerna High School. Batted .385 his senior season with 9 ribbies. Earned a second-team All-League as an outfielder his junior year while being voted their Defensive Player of the Year. Was also selected his team's Offensive Player of the Year as a sophomore.
Reminds me of Fino Amador. Man can do it all.
It's nice to have that little two-way player in you, as Martinez wasn't always on the mound, was a corner infielder, played over at first, and in high school having that nice little being able to be an outfielder as well. Definitely has the frame for it, as Lewis bounces one over to first, and Bradshaw able to come in to score to split the game 4-2.
Connor Bradshaw, what else do you expect? His 29th run of the year. The only 2 runs for the Saints in this ball game, and without him, last night, his 2 RBIs and 2 runs made the difference as well. He's definitely been a pivotal piece in this ball club all season long.
So Peyton Lewis does his job as a cleanup hitter and trying to clean up the base path as much as possible, as Bo Willis fouls off that pitch off of his leg, hits the deck after hitting that one. Very slow to get up.
Athletic trainer coming out to take a look at him. Really looks like Bo's in a lot of pain here. And this is when the depth that the Saints lineup has really comes into play. You have Peyton Lewis, a utility guy, can play catcher. Tanner Lindsley, we've seen him a lot in the mix behind the dish. So the Saints have some backup, and some great backup at that. But we hope Bo Willis is all right.
Now Coach Aaron Milam going to go check up on Bo Willis. And, of course, first thing you're thinking about is hopefully Tanner Lindsley's already staying loose and he's starting to stretch out and warm up inside of the Saints dugout. Otherwise, another option would be to drop the designated hitter position and have Peyton Lewis be the catcher if they still wanted to keep Tanner Lindsley and maintain his day off. And by the looks of it, Willis is back up on his feet. We'll see if he's going to be able to continue on with the at-bat.
Such determination. You love to see it out of Bo Willis.
I don't know what it is about catchers.
They're tough.
Certainly makes sense. Absolutely. They are a tough position to get them out of the ball game. They're taking a beating all game long, just taking foul tips, sometimes they get crossed up by a pitch, they take a baseball. It's definitely a very tough position to play, and you're just taking a beating all day. And, hey, sometimes do catchers really even ever get immune to getting hit?
Probably not. Still going to feel something at the end of the day, but they definitely are the strongest players, if you ask me, on any baseball club. They're the captains for the most part, and they really command this ball game. They have great baseball IQ, and that position really just calls for a strong mental leader who's going to command a ball game. And for Bo Willis, he's done that throughout this summer.
Said it just right. Saints do have a very nice trio of catchers that they can turn to, as the 0-2 pitch, that one is roped down the third base line, but it'll go foul. I mean, really, you've got Willis, you've got Lewis, and you've got Lindsley. And Coach Milam does an excellent job in just having a rotation for these guys and just making sure that the playing time is there for everybody. And these catchers just manage the game so well for the pitching staff for the Saints. 2-2 the count. Nicholas Martinez. That was pitch number 35. Fortunately for Martinez, he focused all 4 years of high school playing baseball, as the 1-2 pitch is Cade and missed there by Willis. So 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base.
First baseman, number 14.
The Saints able to make it to a 2-run ball game here in the Urban Youth Academy. Darian McDowell, Christian Webb, and Basil Williams. Still the middle part of the lineup for the Barons coming up as McDowell, a mammoth of a swing there at the plate.
We're used to seeing those from him. Leads this ball club with 2 home runs. He's a big hitter in that cleanup spot and someone that's done some damage here in the summer.
Able to lay off of that one. 1-1 now. As McDowell, as you mentioned right there, possesses some serious power. 9 runs, 16 hits with 2 doubles, with 2 big boys with 5 RBI. And he's definitely trying to swing for the fences here in the Urban Youth Academy.
He's also second on the team in batting average at .340, so not just the home run hitter, but he really shows an all-around talent of how he could get on the base paths.
To share the dimensions with you guys here in the Urban Youth Academy, down the third base line is .327. Then you look at dead center field, .401, and down the first base line, .325. A pretty symmetrical ballpark there. Nothing really too odd. As 1-2 pitch goes after the high cheddar, and another one bites the dust.
Second strikeout today for Darian McDowell. They've really been getting to him. Dominic Dorado maybe did a little bit of studying on this man. Kind of got him down, knows what he likes to chase, and threw him the high cheddar. He went fishing. Great job. Great pitch by Dominic Dorado.
Already a pair of Ks to put away McDowell. And those are the lone 2 Ks for Dom Dorado. Still looking to get very comfortable here in the ball game. And there's a ground ball that goes to dead center field.
We've seen these Barons so far in the first couple of innings really attack some of the first pitches that Dominic Dorado has been throwing. Not too concerned about getting him too deep in the count. They're just hitting off of him. Already 6 here in this ball game.
Christian Webb already going after the first pitches of the first 2 at-bats. His first time it resulted in a ground out to third, and this time Christian Webb able to hit one right back to where the baseball came from. So now here is Basil Williams.
I wouldn't even call that, yeah, it was a chopper.
And that one bounces over to right. Looking to see if he can take an additional bag, but he's going to put the brakes on at second.
Yeah, for Christian Webb, his first time up, he laid down the bunt, but you're right, Alex. It was more like a grounder to third. Didn't really put the sharpness on that one that he would have liked, but now he's standing on second base, and you better believe he's excited.
That first time was trying to get a base hit out of that bunt. But now with one gun, a pair of base runners on, here is Julian Boyd.
Boyd with the ground out to Drew Cowley that ended a very big first inning for the Barons.
And starts him off with a breaking ball down low. So Dom Dorado as a sophomore with Binghamton University made 6 relief appearances, worked 10 innings. His longest stint was 3 innings of 1-run relief at Stony Brook University on May 1st of 2021. Binghamton, one of the fortunate programs to have a baseball season. Not a lot of programs were able to have a baseball year, especially if you want to talk about his counterpart in Nick Martinez. Martinez did not have a season with Cerritos College, and it's actually a couple of the community colleges here in California did not have a season. By the time they had the green light to have a year, all the teams were able to do were just do conditioning work, get the guys in shape, and just get them. 3-1 count. Julian Boyd, Christian Webb second, Basil Williams at first. 4-2. The Barons with lead and have kept the Saints staring at their taillights here in this ball game as the 3-1 is a slow roller going to McMurray. The flip to second, then the throw not in time.
But a great flip by McMurray. We said we'd look out for it. He was able to catch it, receive it, throw it over to Boning and a quick toss. But we talked about the speed out of this Barons lineup, and Julian Boyd having 10 runs and 13 RBIs on the season, both leading this Barons ball club. Really goes to show the speed and the amount of effort he goes to getting on base.
Going back to McMurray, flipping the baseball over to Brandon Boning. And that one gets through the glove of Willis. And a free run there for the Barons, and it's going to be ruled a pass ball by Willis.
We saw Willis get hit in his last at bat in this inning. You got to wonder if he's still a little shaken up. He usually doesn't let him go by that easy. It was a tough pitch to handle for Bo Willis.
So somewhat of a different situation. Still a runner in scoring position as Call fouls off the 1-0. And just like that, Willis once again just taking a beating behind the plate. Just has not been an easy day for Willis. But he's going to grind it out, going to push through it.
Talk about easy days. We haven't seen a good one from Dominic Dorado. The most runs he's given up all season long at 5. And it's tough to see a pitcher who's been doing so well this summer come out here to the bottom feeders of the division and struggle.
1-1. Puts a little more velocity on the fastball.
And the thing is, he's been getting good grounders. It's just finding the right spot in the infield and sneaking out into the outfield. And with the speed that this Barons team possesses, they've scored 5 runs just off of 7 hits. We're used to seeing that from the Saints, but productivity favoring the Barons.
Very much just finding the spots where the defense is not, just finding the gaps in the infield. And that's what these Barons hitters have been doing. We've seen quite a few hitters just trying to put the ball in play, let the baseball find the holes. And we've seen some of the players that have just been swinging out of their shoes. Dorado set.
You've got to imagine this should be Dorado's last inning. We usually see these starters for the Saints go about 4, maybe 5, but up 5.
So we bring you back here to the bottom of the 3rd inning. We apologize if we lost any of you guys with technical difficulties that we endured. But so far, runners on 1st and 2nd with 2 gone. And Kemet Brown at the plate with a no balls, 1 strikeout. Barons still threatening. 3 straight innings of a run being scored. As the 0-1 promptly located on the outer edge, 0-2.
Surprising for Dorado, only 3 Barons ball players hitting above 300. The rest falling below the Mendoza line, but yet he's been getting banged up here to start the first 3 innings.
Bit of a different approach for Dorado when you are a reliever. As a reliever, you're coming in towards the middle or the ending of the game. As a starter, it's a complete different approach mentally. It's all about how you deal with it mentally. As the 0-1-2 pitch, there it is on the outer edge, and another one bites the dust. But the damage done here for the Barons. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. 5-2. The Academy Barons, as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. Top of the 4th inning we go here in the Urban Youth Academy. We'll have Cowden, Castillo, and Cruz coming up to the plate here for the Saints. Alex Naveja alongside of me is Charlie Duncan. And so far it's been a 3-run lead here for the Barons, despite the Saints splitting their deficit in half. Now they continue to have some work to do, now trailing this one by 3. Nicholas Martinez comes out for another inning of work. And despite the 2 runs that he has permitted here in this ball game, he has settled into it nicely.
He did have a perfect slate coming into this ball game, as we noted. So a couple of runs, still maintaining the lead. I'd say he's doing a pretty good job so far.
And Cowden turns on one, and this one goes a long way, but it's a long strike.
Job there by Cowden. We know he's got the power, but he's also got the plate discipline. Still leads this team in walks at 20. Has a very keen eye, and he's ahead in this count 2-1.
It'll be interesting to see what Martinez goes with after that pitch just being smoked. Able to get Cowden to go after that one 2-2.
Great breaking ball out of Martinez. Fooled Cowden. Has a little less 12-6 and more of a 2-7 on that curve. Breaks a little bit from left to right as it goes down.
The 2-2 pitch. Webb tries to dig it. Keeps it in front of him. Full count. So Nick Martinez in 2019, as he made his way to Cerritos College, started 10 of the 12 games which he appeared, and went 1-4 with a 6.51 ERA and 56 2/3 innings.
He's been a lot better here in the CCL.
As a 3-2 pitch, just able to get some contact. This could be trouble. Barehanded play, but it's a wild toss. Neighbors didn't get the cleanest of throws there.
And that's more like the Cowden we know. He grounded out into a double play his first time up. Now a leadoff single to get things going in the 4th.
And they're going to give Josh Cowden the single. So they do. So Josh Cowden does his job, and here comes Tommy Castillo.
Still batting 1,000, Alex. Let's see what he can do here.
Was able to get on, but then was able to steal second during the Jake Cruz at bat, but took an aggressive secondary lead and was able to get picked off at second. Martinez, his lone win in 2019 was a 5-hit shutout against El Camino College. Where
Saints very eager to get these guys in, these 2 newbies, Tommy Castillo and Jake Cruz. Put them both in the lineup. Figured it might just be one to keep the chemistry going, but they really want these guys to play before the CCL state championship and the playoffs. Get them going.
3 balls, no strikes. The count now to Castillo. Saints were needing some additional position players. We've seen quite a few leaving the Saints, unfortunately. There's a 3-0 pitch in there for a called strike. And it was just going to be a matter of time before the Saints were going to get some additional help. You're starting to become and get short of position players. Nice for some depth at first to be able to give Jake McMurray some days off. That was going to be a huge question mark for the Saints. I mean, you have Jake McMurray. I'm sure he has no problems playing every day, but, you know, at the same time, this is summer baseball. You want to avoid injuries when you go into the fall.
You sure do, and for a guy like McMurray, he would play every single day. I know that for a fact. He loves this game. Coming out of Oral Roberts University. Product is known for their basketball program, but they've been electric in baseball as well. McMurray a part of that one, and it's always good to get a little bit of depth behind you, but the main thing I'm concerned about is the chemistry. These Saints have been rolling red hot, as we mentioned, 9 straight league wins. And when you throw some other guys in the mix, it could throw things off in terms of how everything's been rolling.
As that'll be the end for Nick Martinez. Head coach Kenny Landreau comes out, takes the baseball away from him. But we'll step aside here from the Urban Youth Academy. The Saints already with a leadoff single and a walk as Jay Cruz stepping up to the plate. And when we come back, we'll give you guys the new arm on the bump as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. Take you back to the top of the 4th inning as the Saints have a pair of base runners on, and the Academy bench will turn to Christian Lara from Walnut, California, the freshman coming out of Hope International University, part of the NAIA, not an NCAA program, but Christian Lara coming in with a 5'8" frame, 180 pounds, the righty, as you face off against the left-handed stick, Jake Cruz.
And those 2 runners on the base paths will go to Martinez, but for him, 3 innings of work, 7 hits allowed, his first walk allowed all season in the last at bat before he was taken out, 1 strikeout and 2 earned runs thus far. But as I mentioned at the top, Cowden and the new man, Castillo, credited to Martinez.
Lara takes 2 looks over at second, fires, and it's a fastball upstairs, 2-0. As Lara's numbers on his 6 appearances, has 9 1/3 innings of work, has 8 hits, 9 runs, 7 of them earned with 8 walks and 6 Ks, coming in with an 0-2 record, 6.75 ERA. And Cruz was already looking over at right field, thinking he got a hold of one, and that one's going to land at the trees. But always got to keep your head inside of those swings, 2-1.
Had his head on a swivel there, it seemed like, and as you said, needs to lock in.
Strike 2 to the count.
That one barely caught the outside corner on that fastball. Blues giving the outside to the lefties so far in this ball game. We'll see if it stays consistent.
Cruz just able to get some wood on the pitch. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cruz is no stranger to hitting 300 with San Diego State as an Aztec. Also had an OPS with 834 on 185 at-bats. He was 6th on the team as far as batting average was concerned. Two-way player, right-handed pitcher, and a first baseman as he takes a curveball on the outer edge and he goes down on strikes.
Wow. I don't know about that one. And Cruz looking back a good 2 or 3 times at the home plate umpire. He was robbed on that pitch.
Very questionable pitch there. It was very close to that outer edge. But 1 gun, they give the baton to Jake McMurray. Made some screaming contact his first time up, but ended up straight to short. That was a storyline last night for Jake McMurray. Had 2 loud outs, 1 straight to center and 1 to short, as McMurray once again lining one, but straight to third.
Putting some really great contact on the ball, but just ending up right in the glove. That's been the difference in this ball game. Barron's been able to find the gaps, and Saints putting them right in the glove, and that's why their 7 hits is only mounted to 2 runs.
And McMurray, you know he's going to be super frustrated at himself inside of the dugout. But back to where we originally started with Connor Bradshaw. Breaking ball, slowly breaking in the lower half. 1 ball and no strikes.
Back to Jake Cruz. Not the start he was looking for. Popped up to third in a backwards K. He's going to have to turn things around in his 3rd at bat and get around to it.
And a back pick attempt over at second.
Spaghetti move with no sauce there. Holds on to that one.
No spaghetti without sauce. Not exactly the best type of spaghetti, if you ask me. You need the sauce. They just go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly.
It's as bland as that pickoff was there, Alex. Just doesn't work out, and that's why it didn't work on the pickoff.
Need them both. Although there are people that do have their peanut butter and jelly without one or the other. I have met people that, no, just peanut butter, or no, just jelly.
No.
Just can't do it.
No.
Just can't do it.
Those are what you call the insanity. The insane people over there.
2-0. Wow, just misses low. Potentially trying to make up for that strike 3 call to Cruz. But it's a 3 ball, no strike count to Connor Bradshaw. And this is the guy that if you're going to walk somebody, maybe this is the guy that you go for. Already has 2 singles and 2 runs scored as the 3-0. Able to get one there, 3-1.
Connor Bradshaw having words with the umpire there as well. Seems that outside of the corner to lefties is going to be called all game long. Some of them a bit questionable.
And there's a ground ball. Not a routine ground ball, and it looks like it turned into a bar of soap. And Bradshaw able to beat it out.
Too hot to handle for the second baseman, Kamayu Neighbors. And now the Saints will have the bases juiced here.
We'll wait to see what the ruling is, and they're going to give it an error. So Bradshaw does get on the E4. So the base is fully occupied with Saints. With 2 gone, Brandon Boney now stepping up to the plate. Starts him off with a nice location, the lower half, 0-1. Brandon Boney, 5'10", Reshoot Jr., from Simi Valley, weighing in at 180 pounds from Chatsworth High School. It's a bouncer over to third, and a nice play. Making it look very easy, Alec Gonzalez. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 3 runners left on base. Talk about a big opportunity missed here for the Saints. 5-2 in favor of the Barons as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. Continues to be a 3-run lead here for the Academy Barons as we bring you to the bottom of the 4th inning. We turn to Trevor Niskern. 6-foot frame, the junior, weighing in at 185 pounds from Lighthouse Point, Florida. As the first pitch is a grounder over to short, and Boning fires a strike over to first to put Kamayu Neighbors away.
The 6-3 ground out from Boning, just beautiful defensive play from Brandon Boning all season long. We've come to expect it. We're getting a little greedy, a little spoiled having Brandon Boning be the spectacular athlete he's been all season long at shortstop, and a great start for Trevor Niskern. As far as Dominic Dorado, 3 innings of work, 7 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 5 earned runs. Not what we're used to seeing out of Dorado.
Definitely came in with a different role here in this ball game, as it's a wild miss to start up Jordan Williams. As Trevor Niskern, 0-1 is his record. 8 innings of work, 12 hits, 12 runs, 10 of them earned with 11 Ks, 8 walks, and does have an ERA of 11.25. Is definitely working on lowering that ERA, and also does have a save. Got that save against the San Luis Obispo Blues. It was on Friday. They turned to Niskern potentially to catch the Blues off guard. It was a save opportunity for the Saints. Instead of turning to Richardson, as here's a fly ball and no play by the Saints.
Interesting move by Aaron Milam, going to Trevor Niskern down by 3. As you mentioned, Niskern with the 11 ERA. Worst on this ball club. The Saints, as a collective, have just under a 4 ERA, and that's a reason why in Trevor Niskern could be sub 3 if it weren't for his play throughout the summer so far.
It's a very tough start to the summer for Trevor Niskern. It all started up with Palm Springs Power. That's where his woes began. Only got through a third of an inning, 4 hits, 7 earned runs, a walk, and no Ks. That's where he would get the lone loss in his record. But ever since then has really tried working back into it. That's always the tough part about baseball. When you start so tough, you have such a high ERA, and then you have to work from behind and try to lower that ERA the best as you can. As a 3-1 is a pitch low, and it's a 1-out. Passport given to Williams.
It's just tough, Alex. 5 out of the 7 times we've seen Niskern, he's given up an earned run. Only twice, that means he's been able to keep the score at where it's at. And if I'm Aaron Milam, that is not something that I want to have down by 3 runs. We talk about how crucial the mid-relief is, especially in the 4th through the 7th innings. It's even more so when you're down by a couple of runs. You want to stay in a ball game. You don't want things to get out of control. So putting in Niskern really leaves things to chance in a 3-run ball game.
So base runner on with 1 out, and there's a ground ball softly hit past the diving Cruz that goes over to right. And already Gonzalez with a pair of base hits, has the double, has the single already. And it's up to the cleanup hitter now to clean up the bases in a Darian McDowell. Bo Willis had quite a few meetings already in this ball game, as had at least 3 meetings with Dom Dorado and now having one here with Niskern. And Niskern, this will be his 2nd time facing off against the Barons. Does have 2 innings under his belt, 2 Ks, 2 walks, a hit, 2 runs, 1 of them earned.
And this out becomes very crucial now for Trevor Niskern and the Saints. You don't want anything from McDowell being a big shot that scores a run. You want a nice grounder double play, or give him the golden sombrero, get that 3rd strikeout, make him look like A-Rod from last night.
McDowell has been swinging out of his shoes. Definitely has not been getting cheated out of his swings. Look for something in the bottom half of the zone and gets one he can drive, but it's definitely playable to dead center field.
With the arm that Connor Bradshaw possesses, able to get that back in quickly. No runners advance, and that's very crucial against this Barons team. They're very fast, very easy, tag up to advance on that one, but you don't want to test Connor Bradshaw out there.
So 2 dead here for the Saints, able to get the out what they were looking for. Christian Webb.
Webb 1 for 2 thus far, grounded out. His first time up, and a single his last.
Time being called in the final moments.
The sun slowly beginning to set here over MLB Youth Academy. Temperature beginning to drop. A little cooler than up at Jackie Robinson Memorial. Some of these players used to battling the heat. Not tonight. Ooh.
And that's a pitch that's off of the helmet of Webb. He'll take it, and it'll be the bases loaded. And fortunate enough for Webb, it was a breaking ball. He's 100% okay.
We saw these Barons get hit quite a few times last night. Julian Boyd getting hit twice. And Ronnie Belton, who ended up coming in for Basil Williams at the very last second, went 0 for 2 but got hit by a pitch and walked. So 2 free passes for him. And now the first hits batsman in this ball game for either team.
So they start Williams off with a fastball up. So 1 ball and no strikes. Jordan Williams at third, Gonzalez at second, Webb over at first. Basil Williams getting the start today. Ronnie Belton got the start yesterday, and here's a ground ball over to short. Boning will step on the bag and go the easy way out. As it's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 3 runners left on base. Still a 3-run deficit for the Saints. As you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network.
Third baseman.
Welcome back to the Urban Youth Academy. Alex Naveja alongside of me. We've got Charlie Duncan, who has been with us in the last 4 innings. Wow. We've got the middle part of the lineup coming up here for the Saints. Cowley, Lewis, and Willis. As first pitch is Drew Cowley in there for a called strike. Will continue to face off against Christian Lara. As Cowley, coming into this game, has a 16-game hitting streak, and with that base hit that he got in his last plate appearance, he is now with a 17-game hitting streak, and definitely has been leading all of the CCL as far as that hitting streak is concerned. There's a couple of Saints with hitting streaks of their own, but nothing as big as Drew Cowley this year. Has just been having an act for getting base hits, getting on, and was able to hang on to it last night with an RBI double. As he smacks one, but a nice lunging grab by McDowell. Can't get it done with the stick, but can definitely get it done with the glove.
And back to what you were saying about Drew Cowley, he's only not gotten a hit in 1 game, and that was off of a pinch hit, which I believe was against this Barons team back when they played that first game and took the loss. So very impressive. Just 1 game without a hit for Drew Cowley.
After that game, going 0 for 1, trying to pinch hit for Jonas Sebring. Then right after that game, June 26th, that's where the hit streak started. Started there against the Conejo Oaks. And ever since then, just been collecting base hits any way that he can. As Lewis Hits one, but it's going to be elevated. Nicely tracked down by the shortstop, Kemet Brown, going out to the outfield to make the grab.
Saints continuing to get good contact, but unable to get it into the spots where it needs to drop, and it's really unfortunate for them. They've been putting up great hits, but a lot of lineouts, especially Jake McMurray. We just saw a lineout by Cowley and now a pop-up by Lewis. They just need to start to get something going here in this ballgame.
And he goes after the first one. Routine ground ball over to second, and Neighbors will make quick work of Willis. So 3 up, 3 down here in this inning. Barons still maintain with a 3-run lead as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network. Saints going down in order for the first time tonight. Alex Nevek alongside of me, Charlie Duncan, as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Boyd, Call, and Brown due up for the Barons. Julian Boyd grounded out to third and got on with a fielder's choice. Niskren still on the mound, gets him on a pitch outside. No balls and 1 strike.
Boyd 0 for 2 to start this game, batting .229. Pretty low end on the spectrum, but makes every opportunity count, leads the team in both runs and RBIs. So something that he prides himself in is cashing in on all the opportunities he gets up and gets on base.
This is a guy that anytime he puts the ball in play, he's running it out. And that's the right mentality to have. But Niskren puts him away on a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night.
Got him there on the fastball. Too much to handle for Julian Boyd. And the strikeouts continue for Boyd. That's his 24th strikeout this season. Leads the club and is just as many as some of these other Saints players.
And that's some loud contact, backhanded by Boney. Keeps it in front of him and tossed behind across his chest. But it'll be an infield single for Call.
What an effort there by Brandon Boning. Never gives up on any play. Doesn't matter if he bobbles it or not. He's going to give you 100% to finish out the play. Give himself the best chance of getting the runner out. And he gave it his all in that play.
Had a play very identical to that for Brandon Boney, except the baseball wasn't squared up all that hard. It was a slow roller that was in between the 5 and 6 slot. Boney had to come after it, backhanding it, and by the time he was trying to get rid of it, the Barons were able to beat it out. So the Barons continue to just hit the baseball in the direction of Boning and continue to get on. And quite frankly, it's not Boning's fault. It's just hitting the baseball hard and just legging out these base hits. As the 0-1 head of the count with 2 strikes. And we're seeing a much different Niskern here in this inning, making sure that he's in control of the ball game and making sure he's getting up on the count with 2 strikes, not 1, but 2. Here comes the 0-2. Gets him on a fastball upstairs.
If you're Niskern, base runners are not problematic. We've been seeing them all game long for this Barons team. Really great piece of hitting and productivity. It's about keeping the score where it's at right now.
Just holding it to a 3-run deficit. And there goes the runner, and it's a toss that's too high by Willis. He knew that he overcooked the throw.
A couple of poor throws on steal attempts by Bo Willis. We saw Jordan Williams get one last time he was on the base path. And now Chase Call, catcher, outfielder, utility man, able to get it done there.
They get a base runner in a scoring position. 2-2, fastball just high, and another one bites the dust.
Second baseman, number 13.
Another fastball strikeout for Trevor Niskern. He's starting to heat up at the right time. And if you're Aaron Milam, you like what you're seeing out of a man who struggled this summer, and it's really been an impressive decision putting him in this ballgame.
And not a single Saints pitcher warming up in the pen, and quite frankly, why should you if Niskern is showing a very great inning here?
If you look at the hits in the error column in this ball game, 9 for the Barons, 7 for the Saints. If you looked at those two, along with 2 errors for the Barons, none for the Saints, I think this would be a closer ball game, but still a 3-run lead for the Barons. Really having contagious hitting and putting hits together more than the Saints have tonight.
Plate umpire calling time. So far, 7 runners left on base here for the Academy Barons. And as for the Saints, they have had 5 runners left on base, especially a huge inning like they had in the top of the 4th inning, what they could have done to catch up and make it into a brand new ball game. Now it's slapped the other way. It all comes down to the blown opportunities that the Saints, they create these opportunities for themselves. They get base runners on, but they just come up empty.
And that's usually not the case for these Saints this season, Alex. They've really been a team that capitalizes on opportunities. We've seen in the lineup, they really piece hits together well, string them together. And with these 2 new guys, you got to wonder if the chemistry or something's just thrown off in this ball game.
And here's a fly ball, foul territory, but we'll go a foul.
Ain't nothing but a long strike there.
Castillo trying to test out his luck, see if maybe he can get Niskern out of it. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner on second. Niskern on the 2-2. Another foul ball by Neighbors.
Neighbors 1 for 3 in this ball game. He's had a couple of ground outs, or 1 ground out and a fielder's choice, and he singled his first time up. He is 3rd on the team in terms of batting average at .333, middle of the pack at 7 runs, and on the lower end of the spectrum with 3 RBIs.
And another foul ball hit for Neighbors. Already 6 pitches here for this at-bat. Man, certainly making this job for Niskanen very tough. He'll be looking to striking out the side. On deck, Jordan Williams. And the Saints looking for their first 1-2-3 inning. Grounder over to second. McMurray making it look very easy, very smooth over at second. Gets a pair of Ks here in this inning. Gets some help from the defense. 5-2 Barons as you're listening to Arroyo Seco Baseball on the Saints Radio Network.